Yo, one of the best signs of a good football shirt collection is that it's growing. And yes, quality over quantity, but the more shirts you get, the more exciting your football shirt collection becomes. But what if I told you that having quite some football shirts can be a problem sometimes, especially when it comes to space? I mean, I got over 200 football shirts and I stored all of them in my room. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 efficient ways you can store your football shirts. Whether you got 50 football shirts, 200 just like me, or 1000, it doesn't really matter. The tips and tricks I'm going to give you are going to apply to almost every football shirt collection. Unless you got like 10k football shirts, then it might be a completely different story. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first and most convenient way to store your football shirts is by using hangers. I think almost everyone has hangers at home, whether it's in your wardrobe, somewhere in your room, or just at any random place in your house. I'm sure you got them, but they're very useful if you're trying to grow your football shirt collection. In the most cases, I just use this type of hanger. They're very lightweight, which make them very space efficient as well. Over here I got 3 football shirts I put on hangers, and as you can see, they don't occupy a lot of space. The second reason why hangers are a very good way to store your football shirts is that they're very cheap. I mean, you can get like a pack of 10 hangers for €5, which means that this hanger costs about 50 cents. That's a very low cost investment, and it's more than worth it in my opinion. Also, if you use hangers to store your football shirts, you'll basically make sure that you keep your shirts in a good condition. This is especially the case for shirts with names and numbers. If I would just fold an expensive PSG Jordan shirt like this, there would be creases in the name set, and the name set could get damaged as well. So I put this shirt on a hanger to make sure it will stay in good condition. I'm sure that this is the most popular method of storing football shirts, but it's arguably the best one. Method number 2 is using boxes. To be honest, I don't really recommend this method unless you got a lot of football shirts, like 150 or more. The use of boxes is very efficient if you got a lot of football shirts in one place. So this is one of the boxes I use to store my football shirts in. I use this box for all the football shirts I still need to customize myself. That way I keep a good overview of the shirts I got and what I need to do with them. Boxes are not that expensive if you buy them at DIY stores like Action. I don't know if it exists in other countries outside of the Netherlands as well. I think so, by the way. But this box cost me about €12 and it's quite big actually. Furthermore, boxes are really easy to move. So let's say you gotta transport a lot of football shirts for whatever reason. In that case, boxes come in very handy. Boxes can also be very efficient if you want to sell football shirts and you don't want to have your shirts all over the place, because I did that sometime and it was kind of chaotic and I lost the overview of shirts I wanted to sell. But there is one downside to using boxes in my opinion. As you can see, you have to fold the shirt, and in general that's no problem for shirts without name set. But like I said before, I'm not gonna fold a shirt like this because the name set will get damaged. Also, the shirt will drop in value and that's not what you want. So just use boxes if you got a lot of football shirts, and just use them for shirts without name sets. Method number 3, using clothing racks, or football shirt racks in this case. It kind of goes without saying, but if you use hangers, then you should also use a rack. Man, that's some rocket science there, right? No, but seriously, racks are very efficient if you use hangers. You can basically put all the football shirts you put in a hanger on your rack. And racks are usually also very easy to move because they got these small wheels. They got different prices. My rack was quite cheap, like €15, but you got high quality racks of like €100. So you should really ask yourself if that's an investment that's worth it to you. The downside of using racks is that some racks can be quite fragile, and this also depends on the quality. And in my case, this might be just my personal case, the use of racks is not very space efficient. Unfortunately, I got too many football shirts, so I needed to buy a rack to store my shirts. If you use them in the right way and you got the space to store a good rack with all your football shirts on it, then they're a very good method of storing your football shirts. Method number 4 is framing your football shirts. Personally, I'm a big fan of framing my own football shirts at home. I made a tutorial about how to frame your football shirt at home. It's very low cost. Click over here or over here, I still don't know. And you might tell yourself, oh, I'm not gonna frame my shirt. I don't got a signed shirt. Well, so what? That doesn't really matter. You can even frame your football shirt if it's not signed. Why is framing your football shirt a good idea to store shirts? Using frames for a football shirt is actually very space efficient, because if you decide to frame your football shirt, you can just put it on a wall, for example. Another pro of using frames is that it looks very nice. I mean, if you just got a wall full of signed or not signed football shirts, that looks absolutely amazing. Even if you frame your football shirt without signature and just with the player's name, it's gonna look amazing, I can already tell you. Or maybe you don't even care about the player and you just want the team crest, the brand, and the sponsor to be visible. That way you can kind of create your own museum at home, which is very cool. The only downside to using frames for football shirts is that frames can be quite expensive. This depends on the type of frame you're using, but there are actually quite some high quality, cheap frames out there you can use. I mean, my frames only cost like €7 and they look amazing. They're not the biggest frames, they're like 40 by 50 centimeters, but it's perfect if you just want the player's name and number to be visible. Personally, I only frame signed shirts, but that's just a personal matter. I almost forgot to tell you that frames kind of protect your shirt as well. So it's a very good method of storing your shirts. And last method is using your shirts as a room decoration. I know this sounds kind of random. That's why I'm going to explain it. If you got a shirt like this and you don't want to frame it because you don't like frames or whatever, you can just use a hanger and put it on your wall. I also did this for one of my Instagram posts, and I'm always so surprised by the result because it can look very good. This method is not very space efficient because you're basically hanging a whole shirt on your wall. And although it looks very cool, it occupies a lot of space on your wall. Personally, I don't have a problem with that, but some people might have paintings or other random posters of Fortnite or whatever. I'm just do whatever fits you the best, seriously. One thing you should take into account when you're putting shirts on the wall is that they can get kind of dusty. So that's something you should keep in mind. And it's completely free as well. All you need is a tag or a push pin, but that's kind of easy and you'll get it in no time. All right, guys, this is the end of the video. I hope the 5 ways of storing your football shirts helped you out. Let me know what you want to see in the comment section down below. Way more cool videos on their way. See you next time.